Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some more. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pacho right here. I am actually pretty mobile. I am at the local Starbucks, so shout out to the Starbucks here in Brickell Avenue in downtown Miami. So if you want to get some amazing coffee, and again, I don't make anything out of this. You guys know that I love coffee. I did a show on it, so. But that's sometimes what we have to do. I'm not in my studio right now, so we have to do what we have to do, right? Semper Gumby, as we used to say in the Marine Corps. So let's get all the pleasantries out of the way. When was the before we get to all that? Hey, when was the last time you guys took a hard look at your finances? Where does that you stand, and do you have an idea where is that you want to be? Well, that's where I come in. What I do is I help people. I actually coach and mentor businesses, veterans, transitioning service members, putting strategies, because after 20 plus years, whether you did 4 years or 20 years, we were handed all these things without no knowledge or education on the benefits of having these things already implemented. Things like, hey, what's the difference between single group life insurance, veterans group life insurance, and regular life insurance, or how to properly invest and roll over that money from your thrift savings plan onto different things that are going to help you and set you apart out of everybody else. And by the way, how do I file my claims and benefits? So that's where I come in, being as your partner, your guide, your mentor, so that you don't fall into the same pitfalls that I did when I was getting out of the military. By the way, I got out of the service twice. So make sure that you implement these things. Let's have a talk. It doesn't cost you anything. If anything, by the time the meeting is done, if I am a good fit, I will let you know. If I'm not a good fit, I will let you know. And now, as a matter of fact, I will point you in the right direction so that you can basically make that connection with that other individual. If I'm not a good fit, I don't want to waste your time or my time. And speaking of claims and benefits, when was the last time you took a hard look at where is that you're sitting on the VA claim system? Are you 100%? Are you permanent totally disabled? Are you in a place where you can improve? So if you're not 100% yet, each year, you should be hitting refile and get that clock going again, and work with somebody that knows the system, somebody that's not going to charge you an arm and a leg, somebody that's not going to take part of your compensation for a couple of months or a percentage. I too help veterans, our brothers and sisters, do that. I don't charge anything. The only thing that I charge, I guess you could say, is I ask that you listen to my spiel and let me help you and guide you to make better decisions with your money, because we all think that this magical pot of money from the VA is always going to be there. What would happen to you if something were happening to you? What are you going to do to take care of your family? And you'll also have a little bit so that you can play around and go to the movies, buy your Harley Davidson parts, whatever that may be. So, but now's the time to put in for your claims and benefits, folks. Let me help you and let me be your resource, all right? And take care of each other and one another. Would it make sense to go with somebody that has been there, has gone through it, has struggled as well, through the filing system, or you want to go with somebody who's going to try to take your money? That's the difference in the matter. So if it makes sense and I'm a good fit, you could DM me. You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. And you can go to my link tree right there on the show description, and you can set up a free 1 hour strategy session, and I will share all the information on how to help you, because I'm going to teach you how to fish, and you'll be much better off by the time you walk away. And listen, if you want to get into a podcasting game and you want to find out more, well, go. You can check out the folks at stitchradio.com. Brian Copeland is an amazing resource that you want to get unplugged with, okay? Because not only will he teach you amazing things about how to be a podcaster, but how to write a book, and just basically a bunch of things as a whole. So, and look, if you like my show, or if you like what you hear, like, subscribe, and follow. You can find me on all different venues. Help the analytics, because at the end of the day, I make absolute zero money from doing this. This is just something that I'm passionate about, and I want to help our brothers and sisters out. So make sure you check it out. All right. And if you like, if you want to stick around and you want to listen to what we're going to talk about today, let's go. All right. So that's pretty much all the pleasantries out of the way, and let's kick off. Let's kick off the shows. So let me get my notes ready. So I had the honor and the pleasure by Tom Long and Darwin Larson, who have been on my show already, come over here and kind of talk about it. So they reached out to me. It's like, hey, did you know that there's a military content creator convention for 2026? And I was like, no, I wasn't aware of it. He goes, well, you need to be here, and we're going to be there. So we want you. So I had the honor of being invited by these two amazing individuals, and there's a lot to unpack. This just wasn't about cameras and social media. It was veterans, active duty, and creators figuring out how to tell stories, build a platform, and use their voice with an actual purpose. Because a lot of us, what we struggle with post service is the fact that we struggle a lot with purpose, because we're looking around as to, all right, well, I no longer identify as a Marine, as a warrior. I no longer identify as a soldier, or I'm not in that realm anymore, or as an airman, whatever the branch was, and we're looking for that next platoon, that next unit, so to speak, that gives us that purpose and drives us. That's one of the things and that was one of the key points that when I met a lot of these amazing individuals, that was one of the things that we talked about. So in this episode, we're going to break down what I saw, the conversations that mattered, and where military content is headed, and what it means if you're thinking about building your own platform. And by the way, you can. It's also in the show description. The military content creator website for this year, it's there. Go check out all their stuff. I believe they're going to release all the classes, or all the panels that they had. They're going to talk about. They're going to release the videos, and you need to check it out. As a matter of fact, you need to be there next year. For the last, I believe it's been going on for 4 years. Uh, each year it gets bigger and bigger. So next year I'm going to be there. Tom is going to be there. Darwin's going to be there, and you specifically, you need to be there. Okay, so no fluff, just takeaways and actual use. So why is this event important? Well, uh, who was there? A bunch of veterans, brothers and sisters, males, females, and actually there were also dependents too, family members of service members who are actually doing great things and being advocates for our community, and to basically grow and to promote a lot of things. So there were active duty, there were influencers, there were brands. And why is this space growing? Because at the end of the day, we can be an amazing resource, and let's call it for what it is. We can also be a great point, because we also like things. We also like to spend money, and we also like to connect with one another. So this isn't just content anymore. It's influence, it's messaging, and the bottom line is about being responsible. You know what I'm saying? So when I first got there, and the energy, it was really really cool. I didn't know I have my dog Taps with me. You guys know that Taps pretty much goes everywhere with me. And if you haven't gotten a chance to go on my social media channels like TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and that was one of the reasons why there was no show last week, because I was creating a little bit of segments. And huge shout out to PJ Correa. I call her Pilar. That's my daughter, who's a content creator as well. And you can check out her channels, PJ_Correa. You can check out she was one of the persons who basically edited a lot of my content, and a lot of and a lot of the interviews that I did. I met some really amazing people. So on the first day, I got there on Thursday. Very welcoming. It was kind of opening evening. There was happy hour, even though I don't drink. But we got to meet some really amazing people and people who have, have a following, who have a brand, who have grown. I met a fellow Marine. Uh, her name is Mallory Ryan. She was in the Marine Corps, an engineer by trade, diesel mechanic. That's how she introduced herself, and also her husband. And she's right there in Tampa, Florida, doing amazing things. Uh, Her channel, or you can find her on Instagram at cheapchickfinds.com or Cheap Chick Finds on Instagram. Check her stuff out. You know, just doing some really amazing things. I met up with, and a lot of the speakers are also veterans, very heavily on AI, because it is pretty much as Captain Kirk, and don't hate me for being a nerd, so to speak, a Trekkie, but it is, that final frontier. What a great time to be using AI. As a matter of fact, this whole week, just some of the things that I learned at that conference, I was able to build on my exam, and I already met up with the guys that gave one of the panels. I was able to build a CRM, a customer resource management tool, pair with AI, that all I do is just talk to it, update my dates. I no longer have to hand jam things. I just talk to it and it fills out my meetings for the day. It give me a daily wrap up. I'm even going to start putting out content through it, because it's much easier. Again, it's all about time management. So it was an amazing friggin' event, guys. So, and it was very professional, versus cloud chasing or anything. The vibe was really really cool. Everybody was super chill. Everybody was like, "Hey, what branch are you in?" "Oh, I was this MOS. I did this." I'm like, "Hey, we should definitely link up and see how we can help and support each other." And that's it's just a very nurturing and welcoming. I felt like I was like, "Hey, I'm." And by the way, there was raunchy jokes being told. There were, we were calling each other fucker, and I have never met any of these friggin' people, but it was just because, hey, we wore the same combat boots and we did the same thing. We were able to just do amazing, and just have conversation. Dude, I felt like I was back in, like at the motor pool, hanging out, just talking trash with, like I was at the field, at a field dock, sitting around a box of MREs, just talking shit or learning stuff from that one guy who's a subject matter expert on whatever that was. It was really surreal, and I was really happy to be there, and make some amazing connections. So much so that a lot of those folks that were on there are going to be guests here coming up in the next couple of weeks on my show. So, and it was very diverse and very educational. So, and I'll be, as a matter of fact, if you want to find out more about AI, and all the other things, I can share the resources that I found out on there as well. So one of the things that stood out to me the most, mm, well, I just mentioned some of them. AI, it was the second day, or the last day, was very AI based, or they actually had panels on AI. They also, if you want to be a public speaker and get paid for it, or if you also wanted, you know, launch your own podcast, what is it that you? And these are veterans for veterans, saying, "Hey, look, this is how you do it. This, if you want to be a speaker, this is how you monetize it. If you have a podcast, this is how you monetize it. Or if you want to improve your podcast, this is how you do it. If you want to learn about AI, this is how you do it." So it was real conversations, versus somewhat surface level networking. It was really really cool, man. I really enjoyed to be there. So huge shout out to people like William Wallace. Yes, he was an Air Force guy. That's his real name. It's not, motherfucker screaming freedom. Um, Shout out to him, Mallory Ryan, uh, Cliff Sanson, who I just got off the phone with earlier. I just had a meeting with him today at Zoom. Shout out to Darwin Larson, Tom Long, uh, Christopher Lockheed. He was one of the guests. He was the opening guest speaker. What an amazing individual that guy is, and just some of the insights that he gave was like create your own platform, create your own category, or so don't limit yourself. If basically at the end of the day, the main thing is that hey, if there isn't a seat at the table, make your own fucking table or create your own chair. That's it. And because everybody has a need for what you have, you just don't know it yet. And it was just so eye-opening. It was very motivating. It just let me know that. And by the way, don't just because you failed once doesn't mean that as long as you failed and learned and you failed forward, that's still momentum. You're still doing the right things. And it just there's a lot of things that were reiterated to me or kind of emphasized, so to speak, that lets me know that I'm doing the right things. Uh, so what was the content about? What was the value of it? Well, there was, again, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of humor. It's kind of like being at the barracks type of thing. There's a lot of education as well. And by the way, your boy is going to be a speaker next year. That was my goal. You know how I love to talk and chat. I met up with Mara, and James, her husband James, who are one of the main organizers, along with Tom Long and Darwin Larson. Uh, those we talked about fitness, we talked about motivation, and obviously we also talked about what's overly saturated and what works, and how to make a if you want to make a presence or something on social media, how to make that presence happen. What I think is that where our content is going is, and I've seen a lot of cool stuff happen as well. Is that you know I've seen our brothers and sisters kind of grow and start bringing a lot more cool stuff. You know, a few years ago there was, there's the army guy. Oh man, what's his name? But if you've seen his channels, he kind of makes fun of all the armed services. He has a Marine character that just says rah 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 rah. He's an army guy. He has a space force guy with the little fingers and the potato and whatever. There was some of us in that realm that was doing something similar to that, and over the last couple of years, there's just been more, and especially with TikTok. Uh, and I get it. Look, I was that guy too. Hey, TikTok spies, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's another market that's there, and I've even migrated onto that platform, and I've been growing that at the same time. So, but it gave a new way for our brothers and sisters to create content, put out the word out there, whether it's funny, sad. There's a lot of comedians, a lot of Marines that are doing some really funny stuff, active duty too, and it's just and it's giving other folks things that when I first decided to come into Marine Corps, I didn't know crap about the service or what it was about. Now kids who are thinking of joining the service, they have that channel and they can plug in and say, well, what is the Marine Corps like? Or what is it to be in the fleet? So it's changed from, I know YouTube gave excuse me, I think YouTube gave way too many people a platform. Sometimes it's just a lot of noise. But TikTok has made it very accessible, and things like Instagram, Snapchat, and all the other things. It was really really cool to see and being and getting ideas and hey, you can do this, you can also do that. It was really cool because now back in the day there was a lot of noise but not enough substance, and I think we're starting to see it grow where there's a lot of meat on that bone, and we have a lot of choices to consume and digest content, and you actually have choices. So uh, because there were nowadays we have a lot of young service members uh, on there. I know, which I've seen her channel. The young lady who claims to be have graduated or is a Marine, but she got released on boot camp due to medical reasons. that we have folks like that. We have veterans, civilians. We have a lot of advocates, but there's all that, and and we have to be careful as to what we're consuming because it could give us a lot of misinformation, especially VA and finances. There's a lot of companies out there because we not only are we a category, but we're very vulnerable. Again, unfortunately, the military does a great job at taking care of us. I think a little too much, and having done an MC Marine Corps Institute correspondence course like finance for Marines or finance for soldiers, whatever, those things don't cut it. So, and the military, yeah, they provide for us a lot of things, but the education or the how to or the why before or why you're getting out, or hey, if you're going to get out, you need to know about these things because there's a lot of predators out there that are looking just to one, not only steal your identity but also take advantage of your VA claims and benefits and take that from you. So there's a lot of misinformation that we have to be, those of us who have a platform, and I made it very clear here that I'm all about sharing content and giving you the right information. Not only providing entertainment, obviously this is what we do, but also leadership. Be a servant to my audience and be a servant to my brothers and sisters. Because um, once people start listening, you're just a post anymore. You're actually leading. So you you know that comes with a really heavy burden because if you say something and you don't correct yourself, or if you don't uh, share the right information and you take advantage of others, that will come back on not only my brand but also on me, and it just takes away the credibility that I built over the years and that you have built over the years. So I connected with a lot of veterans while I was there, and there was networking opportunities because if you have a platform, you want to cross pollinate, you want to go to other podcasts. Like I'm getting ready to bring on some other a lot of the folks there had their own podcast. I'm going to have them as guests. We're going to talk about theirs. I know there'll be other opportunities for me to be on their shows as well. So that's the goal because not only does that give me another different audience, but also another audience that I can educate and reach, and also obviously grow my brand as well. So there was a lot of opportunities for create meet other business owners, entrepreneurs, as well as friendships because we become really bad. And it's true, even to this day. I've been out of the military now for going on 12 years, and little by little we kind of start getting away from the flagpole. We pull away from that network, so to speak, and where that was our backbone and our resource, and who else to lean on than your fellow warriors for you to take care of each other as well as do business with each other, so and collaborate as well. So what makes networking actually work is, while everybody wants, I've been to a lot of, I do a lot of networking in my line of work, in the financial side, helping people. I do it, it's all about face to face, shaking hands, kissing babies, building relationships. And it took me a little bit to realize that, but because I've also been to events where it's like, hey, buy my shit. Hey, my stuff, my stuff, my stuff. And it's like, whoa, let me get to know you. And so people buy from people they like, they know, and they trust. So it's also building relationships and being with people who are like-minded as well. So you know if I'm a good fit for that person, great. If I'm not a good fit, I'm not gonna. And I know it, and you know it too. And even vice versa, it's like, okay, I'm like, no, I'm good. But I'm like, hey, listen, up front, I can punch in the right direction, but I don't think we're a good fit. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of that as well. Um, because people do it wrong. People, instead of building relationships, a lot of us make that mistake when we first open our own business or become an entrepreneur. And by the way, if you want to put your faith in God, become an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? But it's the relationships that you build, that network of people that you connect with. Those are the things that are going to help you later on, and those are seeds that you're planting, and those seeds are going to flourish, and they're also going to spread roots, and they're going to also going to refer you to other people. And that's basically what I concentrate on now, because one, no is not forever. you know no just means, hey, right now it's not the right time or the opportunity. But if you follow, one of the things that I've learned too over the years, and here I've been following up with the connections that I made. I'm seeing, hey, how can I help you? How can I help you grow? How can we help each other? Do we have the right synergy and energy to vibe? And if it isn't, hey, that's okay. That's okay too, because networking isn't just collecting contacts; it's about actually building trust. You know, and that's the thing and one of the things that I got out there. And so, some of the things that I took, and I know Brian is probably listening to the show right now, and but he's been telling me for years, and it's, hey, lean on. There's a lot of resources and tools out there that will leverage what you already know. You don't have to be the guy that builds everything. You don't have to be the guy that knows everything. There's tools out there that will help you do that, and that way you can pivot and dedicate your time, because it's all about time management. Where is that you can dedicate your best time? Like, we were talking the other day. Even though as a Marine Corps recruiter, I'm good. I am good on the phone, and yeah, I can do outreach and cold calling and whatever. It's just nobody likes to do it. I mean, you could ask any Marine Corps recruiter, when you're smiling and dialing 100 calls a day and whatever the case. But I'm more face to face. I can talk to anybody out on the street. I can get that relationship and meet with them, all that good stuff. So now I'm capitalizing on my strength, and on the areas that I'm not that good or that I can improve upon. I'm just going to build something or partner up with somebody that can do that for me, so that I can keep doubling down in the things that I'm already good at. If that makes sense. So obviously, some of you've noticed that my shows have become more structured, better storytelling. I actually implemented an agenda, and we're going to have a lot more guests, more veterans, more education. Because although I do like doing these talking heads with you, I too have to bring value to you as the listener, and bring other perspective, even if I disagree with that person. And by the way, it's okay to agree to disagree. I think in a day we've forgotten this, in this day and age, we've forgotten that a little bit. So so be on the lookout for that. As a matter of fact, next week I'll have an amazing guest, and so there'll be a lot of good content filling out. So you know what are some things that you can start doing? One, check out AI, check out tools like excuse me, Claude, Gemini. Check out the other channels and check out, if you go on some of the shorts that I've made. There's some amazing people there as well, and just be consistent, be real, not performative. I think at the beginning I was kind of like, hey, how are you? But little by little, I kind of made this my own, and kind of grown at it. I finally found my footing, and I mean, shoot, I mean, so much so that this is our 207th show, folks. Who would have thought, right? And just pick a lane, right? You don't need to be perfect. You just need reps, right? Because everything compounds, and that's how you get bigger. So, you know, having and look, all in all, it's about having purpose, folks. Find, again, going back to just said, picking my lane. Pick your lane, because that's going to give you purpose. And as you don't it doesn't have to be perfect. Just execute. If you want to help get it, for example, if you want to have a media presence, I can tell you that Brian Colburn is an amazing guy, and that dude will get you where you need to be. As a matter of fact, he is not only is he a really great friend, he's also a mentor. That I use him as a soundboard all the time. So if you need a battle buddy, you can ping me. But I would definitely encourage you to hit up Brian Colburn. Pick somebody that's doing it, and that, just like when I used to go to a racetrack, when I used to race motorcycles, and not professionally, in club racing and doing track days. Don't become the big fish in that little pond. go ahead and jump to a bigger pond so that way you get better and you grow. So pick a mentor, pick somebody that's already doing it. If you want to be rich, hang out with people who are rich. Rich people love to brag and talk. If you want to get into the podcasting game, do pair up with somebody that's already doing it and is being really great at it. If you want to, you know, build a social media presence, there's plenty of veterans and other folks doing it out there. If you need a help and finding a mentor, hit me up. Because look, at the end of the space is about it isn't about going viral. It's about making sure the right voices get heard, and that you're providing value to your audience. All right. So, anyways, next year, military content creator is will be kicking off. More information, you can go on that website, check out their videos, support all those folks that are out there. Like, subscribe, and follow to them. It doesn't cost just to click like that. A lot of good information being put out, and help their analytics as well. So, uh, if you have any questions and you want me to help you out with things, with what I do, or you want to find out more about some of the things that I learned while I was there, you can shoot me a DM on any of my military social media platforms, and I would love to share that with you because that's how we grow. So, so I'll end it with this: if like I always do about this time, if you've been ruminating and you've been struggling, or you just tired and exhausted about many different things, hit me up. Let me be that ear. Let me talk you off that ledge. Let me get you the right folks or the people who can help you even much more beyond my resources and capabilities. Let me be that guy. I mean, you go to Military One Source, VA hotline. You can go to Warrior Built. I mean, I got the resources, but nobody wants you to be gone. Okay, so anyways, I think this is a good place index. So with that being said, folks, I just want to say thank you so much for all these years, for always being there. And Ice Mas, Index, Daisuke. I'll see you next week, folks. Bye bye.